We're rolling.
All right. I have a bone to pick with you.
Yeah.
For the love of God, can you please stop interrupting my intro?
I'm not going to interrupt you, Joe.
All right. This isn't coming from me. This is coming down from corporate. All right. I got a call a few weeks ago, and they're kind of fed up with you interrupting my intro.
But we're coming out of your basement.
It's in my contract.
There's no contract.
There's a contract.
I didn't sign shit.
Well, that's not okay.
Where's my money?
Where's your benefits?
Where's my money?
Oh, my God.
What did I sign when I walked in?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Stunods podcast. I am your host, Joe DiNizio, and I'm joined by my co-host.
Do you guys like pancakes?
Oh, so that's what you guys are talking about. As we're whispering in each other's ear.
Buttermilk pancakes with some chocolate drizzle on top with some peanut butter.
Yeah.
Well, hello. Okay.
Sorry, Joe. Were you doing something?
I was trying. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, go ahead,
I
please.
blame him. It's his fault.
See?
God damn it.
Yes.
Two against one. Two against one. What are you going to do?
Oh, my
He whispered
God.
sweet nothings into my right ear.
Anyway, back to the intro. I'm your host, Joe DiNizio, and I'm joined by my co-host, Dom Lampasona.
How we doing?
Yes. How are we doing? We have a very special episode for you guys today, as we are joined by aspiring actor and Tik Tok famous Jennings Brower. Jennings, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm stoked to be here. This
Definitely.
is awesome.
How was the drive over?
Simple. I left early as I do. Dom can tell you from my days on set.
Nice.
I was always the one there like 30 minutes ahead of time before anybody else would have arrived.
Cool.
So I left this morning thinking, hey, stop by a Starbucks somewhere. There's no Starbucks. There's Dunkin' Donuts in Jersey. There's like no Starbucks anywhere.
Yeah.
So I got here.
It's also Middlesex, too. We don't have Starbucks.
Yeah, no, we got two
That's
Dunkin'
too
Donuts.
bougie. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so some social media stats for Jennings. He has a pretty big following on Instagram with 46.7 thousand, and TikTok, unbelievable, 909.6 thousand followers. That's incredible.
The TikTok
Wow,
man.
boys.
That's incredible. And a
Wow.
decent following on Twitter and YouTube, Twitter being 1,200 followers and YouTube being 2,700 followers.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's funny, man. It's funny. People always ask, like, so if you're doing social media, you're like all across the board. I'm like, well, on the content creating side, Twitter, I really don't touch. My Instagram's connected to it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
YouTube is a slow roller. That's 9 years of work that is slowly getting there. Thanks honestly to TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, keep plugging away, man. It's gonna pay off soon.
Well, we were kind of talking about like your work ethic from the last 9 or 5 years of YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah.
And then now you can apply it to something that you actually did blow up on, platform that.
Yeah.
So can you explain a little bit about like your work ethic that you learned
Sure.
just by doing YouTube, Instagram, and then now how it is paying off for
Gladly.
you extremely well,
So crazy thing about TikTok, and this is something I've tried to explain to my family, who besides my sister being a singer-songwriter, my family is not social media savvy. They're not they're not like tech savvy. I'm the person that has like the DJI Mavic 2 Pro. I've got the newest GoPro. I've got the Panasonic GH5. Like I'm constantly capturing stuff. Growing up, it's crazy. I feel like Dom went to school for creating.
Yeah.
I know you play baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you get your degree in?
Marketing.
Marketing.
And business,
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. So, I didn't know what I wanted. Growing up, when I went to summer camps, I do all the sports stuff with my friends, all that, but I'd also choose to either do fencing or whatever drama stuff, or like we'd be able to put on a play and I'd want to do that.
Yeah.
In middle school, I chose to be part of I did all the different productions that we could, but in middle school, you don't really audition.
Right.
You just get placed in the role and
Yeah.
you go have fun. I know later on though, like early high school, late middle school, I chose to be in like the set design class and again drama club, and there was always little sparks of wanting to be an actor, but I never knew that you could do that as like a tangible career. So I went to school after living abroad for a year in Czech Republic, and I just said, hey, what is a job that I can end up probably using no matter what I want to do?
Yeah.
And my dad's been a financial planner as far as I can remember, obviously.
Yeah.
And so we've always been able to go on trips and have a really comfortable life because of that. And so I said, hey, I'll get my degree in finance. Worst comes to worst, whatever industry I go into, I'll be able to use that in some way, shape, or form.
Definitely.
And then so late in college is when I started doing photo shoots because of being a cheerleader at Florida State.
Nice.
And ended up networking and meeting people and being introduced to my now for 4 years agency.
Yeah.
Up here in New York City, which is crazy.
That's awesome. That's really cool, man.
Give me one word to describe your success.
Surprising.
Surprising.
Surprising is the word I want to use.
And how come?
It's been surprising because of the years I've put into certain things. I was definitely a late bloomer when it came into looks or fitness or confidence. So, you know, my sister was the one that like literally one day took my phone, I think middle of high school career, and made an Instagram for me. My parents were the type, I was the oldest of three. My parents were the type that said, no, we don't want you to get on Facebook because we think people are going to be spying on us and getting your personal information, find out where you live.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom and Dad, why are people going to care to find out where I live? Like, I'm not anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was very late into the game with all of this stuff. So surprising is because of the years I've put into it. And then, again, my good friend Mel, she's the one that actually suggested getting on TikTok. She goes, look, here's the pretty much basis level for being successful on TikTok. If you have any kind of like charisma, personality, being funny, whatever it is.
Sure.
If you have looks, it helps. And if you have the right equipment to shoot with, which I had my GH5, my drone, my phone. Obviously, I shoot like everything on my phone for TikTok. You'll do well. So she convinced me to get on it. My first few videos were trash, and like any platform, right? You start posting things just to see what happens because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what works. And long story short, I started getting into cosplay, and a few videos just started taking off, and so I started to stick with that one character I was doing.
Nice.
So it's been surprising just to see how finally the effort we've been putting into creating all of a sudden pays back, and that's cool to see.
Have you gotten any like weird messages from people and things
dude.
like that?
That's a great question, Joe. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've been getting, as soon as I started doing modeling, and I always use quotation marks when I say I'm a model.
Right.
Because this is something I would have foreseen. I would never have considered myself doing this or seen myself doing this. As soon as you start doing that and posting any type of like fitness or update photos or even from photo shoots, you people find you, and it's tough too, right? Because some of these photographers in New York City have been doing this their entire careers, and they have already built a social media following, and you don't know who these people are that are following them or what their, you know, the things that they like are.
Yeah.
And so once a photographer posts a photo of you, all of a sudden their entire following is open to seeing you and your content. So yeah, I've gotten some weird messages.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Everything from people asking for like old shoes and asking if I've worn them recently so that they still smell. Like old pairs of socks, bro. People ask for clothes, underwear, like everything. But it's funny because I live in a house of actors.
Right.
And one of the older actors in the house literally used to help a guy who would get these messages all the time, help him make money because they'd buy brand new pairs of underwear, literally like just mess them up in some way, shape, or form, and then sell them to people who thought that they were actually wearing underwear when they weren't.
Oh
And
my
they,
God.
for like 2 or 3 months, actually made money playing off of one of these super creepy people.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
hey, you got to do whatever
Super
you can,
bizarre.
right, to make some money. You know?
Yeah, hey man, if you're getting some cash in your pocket, why not?
What, man, I know people from high school that literally work normal 9-to-5 jobs, but also, I try to say this with a straight face, sell feet pictures.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
because people
yes,
have
I've heard of that.
And
yeah.
literally, like, there's this one girl, I'm not going to name any names,
Sure.
but she literally is able to call her followers pigs and just call them the worst things, like you weirdos, you crazies, and they freaking love it. Because it's coming from some sort of, like, I don't know if they like to be dominated, I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but they love it. And so yeah, she gets requests for feed pictures and like makes a lot of really good money from it.
Oh my God.
I don't know, dude.
bizarre.
I just couldn't do that.
Anything
No.
you can do to
It's
make
like
some
use
money.
tissues or something.
Dude,
like,
trying to become like a legitimate actor, and this is why I stay away from reality shows. I've been invited to audition or just be in so many reality TV shows, which if I were to look at it as, would it help my TikTok, my Instagram, everything? Totally.
Yeah.
The issue is, and I'm sure you know a little bit about reality shows, it's not reality. And they reshoot things to form a perfect storyline of drama and stuff that they want to see, and they want to create this havoc, right? That's what drives reality TV.
Yeah.
But again, trying to make it as a legitimate actor, I look up to like Hugh Jackman, Henry Cavill, Superman,
Nice. Oh, yeah, of
obviously,
course.
right?
The
Yeah,
stud.
yeah.
You don't Google these people and say, oh, Henry Cavill found to have sold underwear, or Hugh Jackman found to have been on a reality TV show and ended up being a dick on this TV show. You know? You don't see that. They really focus on their craft, and that's what I'm trying to do with everything besides TikTok.
All right, so I mean, you two made a movie together.
We sure did.
We did.
Yeah, Kickstart My Heart. I just want to congratulate the both of you. It just made it into the Garden State Film Festival. That's freaking awesome, guys.
Really excited about that.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll show up to this one.
It seems like when this movie is done or either forgotten about, it just keeps rolling.
Yeah.
It just something keeps coming
cool,
in.
man.
That's just, I think, a testament to the hard work both of you and the rest of the cast and crew put into this film.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. So if you guys want to talk a little bit more about what the casting process was like when you were casting Jennings, some of the other people, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well, the first thing I would say is that as soon as I saw his picture, I was in love. No, I'm kidding.
And here we are today.
No,
You wanted feet pictures.
Yeah, I wanted feed pictures. I wanted your underwear.
Well, I changed a few times on set, but I'm pretty sure there were no cameras. I'm not positive yet.
But no, I would say the casting process. I had a pretty solid idea of the characters I wanted and like the style of it. So I went on Backstage. Started casting probably like 3 months into it. And honestly, before I even found you, I had everybody else casted.
Yeah.
And there was probably 2 people that auditioned for your character.
Really?
And that was kind of weird because it was the lead character in the movie.
Yeah.
But I got more people for the supporting supporting role, which was interesting. But I had some ideas and stuff, and then I had one actor that I worked in the past, and then he said, he probably wouldn't be able to do it. So I kind of freaked out because I was like, oh shit, I'm getting closer to the shooting dates, and I don't have my lead actor. And I feel like that character I created had to have a certain, like, I'm not even like a certain look to him, a certain like charisma.
Sure.
And that's hard. I mean, you can't really find that in a lot of people. And I was surfing Backstage, surfing it for hours, dude. Probably like 4 hours at least, sitting in the dark. Dude. And I put in, I think I put in like Jersey, New York, like actors in there. And then your picture scrolled up, and I think I said like Rahway, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, that's like pretty close to where we would shoot and stuff.
Yeah.
And I clicked on your thing. I think you had like one video of you doing like voiceover or something like that. And then I checked out your page, and then you're a big superhero guy, big cosplay guy. Just seemed like a positive, charismatic character that can carry himself as soon as he walks in the room.
Right.
I was like, this guy's the dude.
Yeah.
This guy's the dude.
So I reached out to you. You got back to me in probably like 20 minutes. I don't know if you remember. And I'm like, that's the
so
shit
excited.
you want to know, man. I mean, if you have someone that responds back that quick, you know that they're going to, you know what I mean? Just a simple response.
I just remember the character description and the description of the project was so exciting to me. I hadn't done anything like big comedy yet outside of social media stuff. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I just remember the auditions, man, were fun. And it's funny too because
the self-tape auditions,
tapes, man. Because I sent in the first self-tapes and I was excited about it. But then you asked for second self-tapes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm still pretty new to this whole acting thing. I think that's a good thing, but it's also an intimidating thing. Where the first one's not good enough, did somebody else send in self-tapes that were equally as good, if not better? And he was like, hey, this is my chance to like one-up them.
Yeah.
So, that was fun. And the script is just epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, man. The one thing that I kind of want to make sure I stress is, or at least share, is that the chemistry that I feel like all of us had on set. And that's something,
phenomenal.
As a director, as a producer, as a guy kind of taking over a project that's a short film. It was for my thesis class. So it's kind of like a big thing, and all you really want is a positive atmosphere that you can bring in and everybody just collaborate and learn. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, it's all about learning. We're all on the same kind of level. And as long as you can get those people that can come in and just at least give you the effort. Sure. And support every decision you have, and that's all I was looking for. Yeah. And immediately you guys gave that to me, so hats off to you guys about that.
Talking about the chemistry, it's one of the reasons I had to show up early, but it was so cool to see how quickly not only the cast and the director got along, but the cast and the crew. Everybody from Montclair State University were super cool kids, and we were all laughing all the time. All of our outtakes were just... That's probably still one of my favorite parts of that 30-minute video is or that film is that last bit after as the credits are rolling, just the outtakes.
Yeah.
Which are just amazing.
I love outtakes though because it gives a personality to like, all right, this is what set was like.
Yeah.
You had fun with it.
Yeah.
And if people can kind of see the bloopers and the outtakes and like behind the scenes stuff, you're like, oh shit, like you want to be a part of that. Someone looking into it, you're like, that looks like a lot of fun.
Looks like fun. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was kind of the whole thing I loved about it.
Yeah, and I could just tell you from my personal experience, I was on set twice. Once at your cousin's house and once at Madeline's store.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the movie.
I was in the movie. That's right.
You had the wallet taken from
Yes,
you, bro.
yes. Me and my girlfriend were both in the movie. It was crazy, like just how a group of people didn't know each other, had no prior knowledge of what you guys were doing, or anything like that. You guys were so, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys meshed really well together. And you guys looked like you all had a lot a lot of fun.
Honestly, that
cool.
day. So, give you some context again. It's a scene in the store where they're tracking out a target in the movie, and it's a very chemistry-based type of scene but the backstory of that is we had a snow day, so we plan on canceling the whole entire day, right? And then I'm like, I was going insane. I'm like, what the hell are we gonna do?
We had to film.
Oh my god, it was insane. So I think didn't you convince me to shoot
I
or
think
something?
so. I think
that
so.
night.
Bro, we've got it. Because remember what it is. We lost the original location that we were going to shoot inside of.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem came. And then it was a snow day on top of that. And dude, I think we had to cancel this. I'm like, come on, we can find somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be able to have like a slow day at their company.
Yeah.
And let us come in and shoot.
So I was thinking jogging, and my mom. I'm sitting in my kitchen. It's like 8 a.m. I was up since like 5 o'clock, 4:30, or some shit like that.
Yeah, I know.
And then my mom's like over my shoulder. She's like, "Why don't you try out Gianni's mom? My friend's mom has a store, appliance store."
Appliance, yeah.
I was like, "No way! Like we could probably get in there at night." And it was complete. The original the store was like a clothing store. You're supposed to like steal a couple of the clothes and stuff. But I'm like, all right, this is a display showcase room.
Yeah, it's a showcase room for bathrooms.
For bathrooms and everything. I'm like, how is this gonna work? And then as the more I think about it, I'm like, this is gonna be perfect.
Can I tell you how thankful I am that we were in an appliance store, not a clothing store? There were so many more natural moments that came up because of that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But there's literally a whole 30-second thing about knobs.
Yeah.
Like cabinet knobs. And it's one of the funniest parts of the movie that was so just like off the cuff natural.
Yeah,
it was
man.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, and then that kind of elaborates more. It's the original scene in the script was in a clothing store, and it was only the 3 main guys.
Yeah.
So then I got a new location, kind of redefining the scene as it's going. And then I think I picked up Nick, and we went back to my aunt's house where we were shooting most of the movie.
Yeah.
All the equipment was there. And I'm sitting there, and I was eating like food, and I had this like feeling. I'm like, holy shit. And he's like, what? My whole body dropped. I'm like, we need Emma to be there. We need her character Ava, who they're gonna be tracking.
And didn't she leave like the night before?
She left she stayed at my house because we have an early
she left
shoot.
That morning, dude.
She left that morning at like 7 a.m. Drove to Connecticut, 2 hours away, and then at 2:30 p.m. as we're about to go to the thing, I'm like, she needs to come back. She needs to.
There.
So I'm going crazy. I'm like pacing up and down the street for like an hour. I call her. I'm like, I will do anything for you to come back right now. And she was so awesome about it. She's like, oh, like, I knew she kind of was like, all right, you're killing me, but I respect that for her. She'll always, for the rest of my life, I'll remember that
She
moment.
came in clutch.
Oh,
Definitely
my God.
Came in
And
clutch that day,
her
for
just, and that kind of brings me back. It's like her coming into that scene added so much more, added Nick, who's the fiance, into it.
That scene would not have been the same.
And then that entire shoot, that entire night was all improv.
Yep.
If you watch the movie, that scene is, I mean, the context is there, what was in the script. But that, I just had that feeling, man, like that was the way to go.
Yeah.
Was improv, and that's all you guys did. You gave me good stuff.
It's great.
Let me just say real quick, working with you have Allie, who is literally a professional stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
When I tell you he has the mastery of comedy,
Yeah.
and they say it's harder to master comedy than it is drama, right? Mm-hmm. To work with him, and then to work with Dan, who is also just so on top of it and good at keeping that straight face.
He's sharp, dude, yeah.
All the outtakes are me already losing my shit.
Yes.
Dan on the verge. You can see it in his eyes. You can see his face. Me, you see me like biting my tongue like visibly.
Yeah.
And then Allie's just off the cuff going,
up,
and we can't do anything. It's like a superpower.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man.
That's really cool.
Just the entire cast, dude.
Yeah. Being on set those 2 days and seeing the motivation to drive both of you have, it's testament to how you guys carry yourselves every day. I want to talk to you a little bit more about, that energy you bring everywhere you go, that smile you put on for people, you know what I mean? I want to know, like, what are the elements of life that make it so great for you?
Sometimes waking up in the morning and having a smile on your face might mean you're doing something fun that day. Maybe you're going hiking with the squad. Saturdays for the boys, obviously. Maybe it's a Wednesday and you're like, hey, if I can get through this next 3 days of work, I got that to look forward to. The biggest thing, especially as creators, is we've got to think, what do we have to look forward to? We have to look forward to that one project that's going to be our takeoff. Mm-hmm. That one thing that's going to get big hits.
Sure.
Whether that's a vacation for some, for us as creators, it's I'm working hard today and having a smile on my face today and building this work ethic today of being a positive person and going and giving it my all.
Yeah.
Because one day it's going to pay off and I'm looking forward to that day by creating that day today. Mm. And that's just like one of the simplest things. And it's one of the best mindsets regardless of what you're going through. Yeah. Days are going to get better.
Yeah. Because it's hard too. Like when you're doing a bigger project, like right now I'm writing a new script, like I mentioned.
120 pages?
120 page script, second draft of it. First feature script ever I did. And I'm putting in, months and months and months of writing. Yeah. And it's like, what am I doing this for? It gets very discouraging.
You have to remind yourself.
But then you like, I'm laying in bed and then you're dreaming about whatever it is. And it's like, that's why I'm doing that shit. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm putting in the work because, I love that. Yeah. Because you put that work in today to hopefully equal to something.
Yeah.
Totally. You dream of.
And I mean, all right, so you two are both content creators coming from someone who is on a more regimented schedule. Sure. I wake up, I work a 9 to 5, whatever the case may be. I knew at one point that I couldn't do this forever, that I needed to do something else, right? I couldn't get complacent. I needed to have something I could be ambitious about.
Exactly.
So I remember over the summer, this is going back to our first episode, we talked about this. I texted Dom about a podcast, and I figured that'd be a good space for us to talk and just meet and, get to know some amazing people. And that has kind of filled a void in my life almost, where I'm not waking up every day and just working a 9 to 5. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like I have something else to look forward to. So it's just giving a more insight onto someone who isn't a big content creator like you two. So,
I mean, I think it gets to a point too, like you never want to be satisfied with whatever you're doing.
No, absolutely not.
You never want to be content. Yes, yeah. What if you make a film or you do some type of project at work? Like it's if you do that, like all right, what's the next thing? Yeah, you know what I mean. I think a lot of people get sucked into being satisfied with their past rather than learning from it and keep developing.
Yeah, you shouldn't be satisfied sitting in a cube from 9 to 5. There has to be something else in your life that gives it meaning.
Yeah, I mean, and if that gives you meaning as a person doing 9 to 5,
a lot of
part of that project, hell yeah.
Or at least it's a safe place. Yeah. But it's cool. Having a project for you is like doing an episode of the podcast, right? You ride that wave. That episode is great. So excited to see the feedback. But at some point, the momentum from that wave is going to stop. You got to create a new wave.
Yeah.
That might be a new film, might be a new episode of the podcast. Yeah. And you have something to look forward to with those new waves every single time. It's a different ride every time.
All right. So getting into our next segment, I know you already talked about it a little bit, like growing up as kids. So just tell our audience, like, where did you grow up and what was it like growing up there?
Yeah. So I grew up in a place called Ponte Vedra, Florida. I always usually say to my fans on like TikTok live streams and stuff, I say Jacksonville Beach. Because Ponte Vedra, Florida is a nicer area in Florida. When people talk about like where retirees go to live, it's kind of nice in that sense. Over the years, having beachfront, or not beachfront, but near the beach property has obviously grown, and it's kind of grown around us. We've just been lucky to be part of that wave that's gotten picked up from being there early on. So growing up there was super cool. Played tons of sports growing up. Nice. Everything from soccer, football, basketball.
Nice. What'd you play in high school?
High school, I played lacrosse. I actually did weightlifting in 8th grade, but this was before I even really knew that I wanted to have any kind of like fitness journey in my life. So it wasn't something I was taking super seriously. But then I started actually rowing crew.
Okay.
You guys know crew, those long, thin boats with like
Yeah.
1 to 8 people in it.
Yeah, it's big in Ivy League schools.
Yeah, huge. And so I was in private school at the time.
Yeah.
And that's where I did the weightlifting and rowing crew.
Nice.
And this was when I started to have like my growth spurt and started to find out that I actually could be good at sports after playing years of everything else.
Right.
But never really like giving it my all because I didn't really care to or know that I could be good at these other sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, then I ended up playing lacrosse. Had a pretty bad lower back injury from rowing crew at the end of the year. So I was out of sports for 2 years just as I started to find my spark and excitement for sports.
Yeah.
You know, which was really tough.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of lows during that period of my life in high school. Played lacrosse, got to college, went to Tallahassee, Florida State University.
Nice.
And at that point, I hadn't gotten good enough at just one sport to like go try out for one of the big teams. I went and lived in Czech Republic for a year. I won't get into too much depth about that. That was through the Rotary Youth Exchange program. There's long winters in Czech Republic, really great people, and I said, hey, I need to meet friends that are athletes, and I ended up going to like this gymnastics hall, like this really cool place where this, it's where you would go as an adult and just run and try to do flips into foam pits and everything.
Nice.
And that ended up leading me to doing cheerleading in college. Being the closest thing that I had to hanging out with some of the most attractive females on campus. Some of the most athletic females on campus. And for whatever reason, I couldn't tell you, my type tends to be somewhere between like 5'3" and maximum 5'7", and I'm 6'2".
Right.
So for some reason, I like the smaller, short. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Some girl that you can toss up.
Like, I don't know. I like to toss the girls around, you know. So, anyways, plus I love sports so much.
Okay, so I'm gonna level with you real quick.
Please do.
Being a chubby kid growing up, myself, and probably having one too many Happy Meals.
Oh yes.
Well, what was your weight?
I already like where this is going.
Oh yeah, my weight probably from about 4th grade till about 8th grade was probably like 185. Like,
wow.
I was a little just bowling ball of
Were you happy? Were you happy?
No, I wasn't. I got picked on unmercifully every now and then. So, but needless to say, I hit a growth spurt. I lost some weight, but it brings me to my question: what inspired you or pushed you to get in shape?
So, the way I like to start this conversation is always, since a little kid, I loved reading comics. When my parents wanted to go to Barnes & Noble or Books A Million, I would be the first to say, hey, you guys go check out your books elsewhere. I'm going to the comics section. So superheroes were always my thing. And that's one of the things that actually led me to waking up to try to smile every day. And lead a positive lifestyle and love others regardless of how they treat you, right? Because it is love others the way you want to be treated, or treat others the way you want to be treated. But some days, some people aren't going to treat you the same way. And that's something that's a pill we got to swallow, and we got to move forward, learn when to respond and when just to say, hey, I'm sorry, have a good day. But one day I just realized that I didn't want to just act and treat others like a superhero. I really wanted to find my fitness journey. I wanted to start to look like some of these superheroes. Because I was the same way, man. If we went to McDonald's on like a group trip, we used to do those things. It wasn't necessarily like Boy Scouts, but we used to call it Indian guides. Because down in Florida, obviously a lot of like native backstory. And so we'd go to McDonald's and have this meeting, and I was always the kid that would always get like 2 Happy Meals, or ask if I could get 3 extra sides of fries, like with that one burger, or or 3 burgers. So yeah, man, I understand the being picked on. Like I said, my brother, sister, and I all went through heavy stages. My brother and I's probably lasted the longest. My sister went through it, but then she was, cheerleading in elementary school, middle school, so she very quickly, and I'm sure those girls were super catty and cliquey and everything. Very quickly came out of that. My brother and I was different though. He started taking sports seriously earlier in his life than I did. And I was, I always tell people I was the kid that was overweight, had braces, and wore glasses all at the same time, but also had no spine. I was very, if a bully took my glasses off and stepped on them, which happened a few times, I would never do anything about it because I wouldn't know what to do. I'd have the dilemma of right versus wrong. Do I fight back, or do I treat them the way I want to be treated, and then I just don't say anything?
Yeah.
And then end up crying later.
Yeah, it's
right?
tough. Yeah.
So but what's so interesting, and I think more of us that did get bullied growing up need to almost reflect on this. I didn't find out until sometime in college that one of my best friends at the time, and still is one of my best friends to this day.
Yeah.
He one day we were sitting, I think I was like dating a girl in college, and we were hanging out at our house in Florida with a bunch of my friends. And I was for some reason the topic had gotten to being bullied growing up.
Yeah.
And literally, all of a sudden I'd finished telling my experience about it, and all of a sudden he goes, "Well, Jennings, you know that you bullied me for a time in like middle school, elementary school." And I said, "Wait, what? You're kidding, right?" And he goes, "No." He said, "Do you remember when we were on the bus together?" I said, "Of course." He goes, "You know, like when you like knock my backpack off the chair and then like jokingly like push me off the chair next to you?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. It was a game we played." And he goes, "It was a game you played."
Oh, jeez.
It always I always felt like I was being bullied. And he goes, "I'm over it now, dude. It's been years, and I still love you, man. Like we're best friends. I know that it was never meant that way, but I just want you to know, like, it had that effect on me." And dude, I like stared at him, one of my best friends of all time, and my heart sank.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it was definitely during a time period where I know I was being bullied, but I didn't realize, and I don't think a lot of bullies at that age realize what kind of implications they're having on other kids. I had no idea until college. It is tough, and yes, I think it's very easy for any of us to say, yeah, I had this very dark time in my life where I was bullied, and it did help us to get to where we are sitting today, and health and diet and everything.
Definitely.
But we got to look back and think, let's make sure that, you know, we reach out to those that were close around us, if we're still close to them now, and say, hey, were there ever any times, you know, that I maybe have reciprocated something that I didn't even know that I was?
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's because that's such a pivotal time, you know, when you're going through things, you know, you're growing up, you know, it's just looking back, like in retrospective, right? Everything was so serious and meant so much to you. Looking back though, it's like it doesn't mean anything anymore. You know what I mean? But at the time, like either your self-image or your status and popularity, whatever the case may be, was the most important thing to you. And that's why it's such a pivotal time growing up. And when you get bullied, that's why I think it affects people so much. You know what I mean? Because that's everything to them.
I was always about that. Treat people the way you want to be treated. I was always preach that, you know, with my parents growing up.
Yeah. Right.
And I always respected that. But there's just a lot of people that are they're just so selfish. Like, they don't give a shit what other people think. You know what I mean? And like, they don't care what they're going through.
I can't imagine what generations are going through like now below us that are still in elementary school, middle school, and have cell phones now because of the easy access to them.
Yeah.
And what that's creating in those schools. I mean, we thought we had cliques and bullies before.
It's worse.
I mean, monumentally.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
And it's because you have such instant access to expose yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and at a young age, like, you don't really know like what is right and wrong in a way. Like, you know, you could put yourself doing something stupid, and then the whole school looks at it, you're like making fun of it. You know what I mean? Like, there's stuff like that.
Next thing you know, you're a target.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're a target.
Playing video games was a big part of my childhood growing up, especially like 360, Xbox Live, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And I'll never forget the one day where I kind of told myself, like, all right, like, kind of like, enough is enough. I need to make a change for myself. I was playing Xbox with a few friends. At least I thought they were friends.
Of course.
And we're just playing. And in no context, no nothing, all of a sudden, I won't say any names, but a kid just goes, "Joe, you know you're fat, right?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You know you're fat, right?" And I was just like, I just got off. I remember getting off, and I remember I just got so upset, and I cried. You know, I was just like I don't do anything bad to people, right? Like I'm a good person. I try and, you know, be nice to everyone I meet. Why are you going out of your way to make me feel that way?
Sure.
Looking back, maybe he was having a bad day and felt like picking on someone, whatever the case may be. But that was probably the first instance I had with cyberbullying, and I don't regret it at all. I'm the person I am today for that reason.
And you
know
remember
what I mean?
that.
And I don't feel bad about it anymore. I don't regret it. Whoever that person is that said it to me, wherever you may be, you know, God bless you. That comment is the reason who I am today. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's just that it's like you said, it's the journey we all go through.
TikTok versus Vine.
Oh,
wow.
That's a great question.
That is a marvelous question. So I was actually just listening to Logan Paul's podcast yesterday, and they've been talking a lot about TikTok recently because he started as a Vine star. That's why I bring that up.
Right.
I personally, in a biased way, have to say I like TikTok more.
Right.
But I will also say I think TikTok can be a slightly easier platform to get started on if you find that you're good at lip syncing, which started from the app Musical.ly before it fully transformed into TikTok. So I think TikTok has more variable creative windows.
Yeah.
Where Vine, it also did, but it was, I would say it was much more challenging. I would say it's easier to do well on TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's when I go back to that 5 minutes of effort I put into that one video that got 23 million views. I don't know. I couldn't tell you guys. It was one of the simpler videos I've ever made, and it did really well. And a lot of people, I think, are finding that there are those that are easy, but there's people that have been on there for a year and haven't broken 10,000 followers. So I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But I'd probably, for me being biased, TikTok.
Yeah. And I mean, coming from someone who's used both, I just use both as for watching content, things like that. I love both. I think I found a couple of videos that are just absolutely hilarious, and I find myself cracking up for
Totally
10 minutes just on one thing. But I thought Vine was a little bit more, I don't want to say creative, but I think for someone to make me laugh or just to make somebody laugh in that 6 seconds is pretty impressive.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I think TikTok's easier to grow on because of the stepping stones, right?
Sure.
Using an audio that has these words or using a song that has these words, you have to figure out a way to turn those specific words into a storyline.
Yeah.
Vine, you had to create your own storyline every single time.
Got another question.
Feel free.
Fire away. Big social media influencer. Doing TikTok, doing Instagram, everything like that. What does the content mean to you as the creator? But more importantly, what does it mean to your audience out there?
Sure. So, very interestingly, my Instagram has always been the place where I've tried to spread the positivity and show my personality. YouTube being the same. But TikTok, man, when I try to describe it to people as a black hole of the internet's most internet-y things, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, my cosplays sometimes don't show a positive side. Some of the audios I use, I try to use as an acting exercise and show an emotional side.
Sure.
So when it comes to like Instagram, yeah, for sure. Totally. What it means to me is spreading the positivity and showing that you can transition. For example, my YouTube is all about, okay, I lived abroad as an exchange student. My YouTube career started. I went to college, did pretty much normal people things, and now I'm transitioning from finance major to actor, total 180, right? So what it means to me is showing that you can stay positive and stay creative and open and loving to others through a total transition in life. But TikTok, it is tough because yes, it is my content and stuff that I'm creating. So that to me, it's like, you know, anything you create is like your baby, right? You really want to work on it. You want it to do well.
Yeah.
And so it's almost different. Instagram and YouTube are kind of in its own sector, and then TikTok is totally its own thing.
Yeah.
Which again has, like I mentioned earlier, trickled over to the other social media accounts, which is great because then people can come to my Instagram and find the inspirational, motivational, positive stuff.
Sure.
So it's a very interesting dynamic. The platforms.
It's like what Joe said. Like you can go through social media, Instagram, and you're cracking up. Like you're giving pleasure to other people. Like you're giving entertainment to them.
People can be funny, man.
Joe, you say you scroll through TikTok?
Yeah.
So you've also seen the videos of the same girl wearing the same kind of like sleazy outfit, doing the same generic type of TikTok dance.
Yep.
And then blowing up from it.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there just like,
I just kind of,
right?
It's the same thing.
Or you'll see something else stupid like that, but then you'll see those videos that, you know what, okay, that was clever as hell.
Yeah.
Or that was cute, or that was funny, whatever.
100%.
Another question.
All right, Dom.
This is kind of leading towards the conclusion.
Sure.
Okay.
You kind of talked about it a little bit, but looking as your dream, your vision.
Okay.
Think about it in like 10 years.
Yep.
Where are you going to be in 10 years?
Yep.
In your dream.
I love that question. So as an actor, it's tough, right? Because we're always changing. We have to be where the work is. I would love to have, at the very least, started a family. I'm 27 today. By 37, I'd like to have kids. It doesn't have to mean I have all of my kids that I'd like to have.
Right.
I really only want 3, so it's not like there's
Yeah.
8 that I'd like.
I want 5, so
Yeah.
Crazy.
3 or 5.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I don't know if it's
So,
gonna happen, but
I'd like to be in LA. I'd like to have a place with a view. Doesn't have to be. I'm not one of those people that would ever want a mansion. I'd love to have a place in Florida, whether that's Miami or in the Jacksonville area.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, I'd like to be married and have my 3 kids and be a successful working actor. Do I care about being famous? Not so much. I think TikTok by that point will have created something for me.
Yeah.
But I want to be a working actor.
Yeah.
Truly just working, making my living, and supporting my family by doing that.
specific genre, specific type of platform.
That's a great question. You look at someone like Will Ferrell, who seems to be pretty strictly comedy, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart has tried to do more drama stuff, and it just doesn't work great.
True.
I love him so much, but it's just
Yeah.
I'd love to be doing action and comedies. If I can get into the superhero stuff, the reason I look up to Hugh Jackman is not only has he crushed it TV, film, theater, and movies, TV, film, theater, movies, but he literally was the only Wolverine we've ever seen on TV. Dude, that would be one of my dreams, is to nail a superhero role and be able to be that superhero for that amount of time. Look at poor Spider-Man, bro.
Yeah.
All of us love Spider-Man, but there's been so many new versions of him, and I think they're doing a good job with Tom Holland,
Yeah.
And what's going on with that. But you've seen so many Batmans. You've seen so many 007s.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see more of them.
Totally. And you kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
But having someone be Wolverine for that long period
It's awesome.
is a legend.
Yeah.
So creating a future like that would be incredible.
Well,
I guess that concludes our episode.
Jennings,
Wow.
we want to thank you for coming on our podcast
Guys,
today,
thank you
man.
for having me.
Good luck with all your future endeavors. And for the love of God, can we please get this man to 1 million followers on TikTok?
Please, y'all. Please,
We're going to
please.
insert his handles in
everything.
the description below.
Go
And
check
don't-
him out.
Yeah, definitely. He's got some really good content. His
Yeah.
Lucifer cosplay is out of this world. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yep.
And as always, tuning off.
Tuning off.
Signing off.
You want to say it?
Tuning off.
Signing off.
Signing off. Tuning off.
Stopping
signing
off.
Stopping off.